Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Thursday evening, Gene Simmons says hip-hop doesn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know who Gene Simmons is. If you don't, do some research, all right? He's not being canceled today. He's not being canceled tomorrow, and nor in the future. Gene Simmons is an old architect with regards to modern music. I have to give him that. I've never been a fan of Kiss. I saw them live once upon a time, but I was a kid. I grew out of it, and they have become a novelty act and a multi-million, possibly billion-dollar machine. Multi-billion-dollar machine, okay? And this is not something new. He's been saying this well over, by way of my calculations, maybe 15 years. So, I want to discuss it. And I want to say early to some of you who, you may not care for his the way he said things. I'm going to play the interview from Legends and Leaders, the channel on YouTube, where he made this statement and others. You have to do more if you're just looking at it from, he racist. Well, isn't everybody racist in America? I mean, let's be honest. Everybody, blacks included, Hispanics, Asian. This is the beautiful, culture of capitalism. We have a class system here as well. Many of you don't rock with broke people, regardless of their color, tribe or what have you. Now, I am going to be as objective as possible, but I just want to say early, if you're Black American, Caribbean, whatever, you have to do more than just say, oh, they stole this, they stole that. We know this already. We know that Black people have been done dirty in this country. We know that. But here we are now in 2026. Are Black people doing other Black people even worse than white people have done them in this country? And do you preserve what you claim you created? See, it's one thing to just sit around now and say, yeah, we created rock and roll, jazz, blues. Okay, but do you support those genres? Do you know one of Miles Davis' most popular album names? Let me look in the live chat. Do you support any real blues or jazz? Do you know who Leadbelly was? Do you know that the first British invasion, the first, not the second, that they were loving the old Black pioneers, of blues and rock and roll, loving them. In fact, they were bigger over in the UK than they were here in America. Here they were dealing with racism. You know this already, and other things, segregation. Gene Simmons knows your history if you're Black, and I'm pointing to you and I'm talking to you. He knows your history. And he's got answers for a lot of things. If you claim he stole this and stole that, he claps back. He's with the shits. He called Ice Cube bright. Now, I think that was a swipe. Called him bright. Not intelligent, not smart. Just, he's a bright guy. I'm going to play the video. Just sit tight, sit tight. Gene Simmons lets it be known that he was at Chuck Berry's funeral. And a lot of other people were not. So he's cocked and ready. He wants the smoke. He's not running from it. I don't think Kiss tours anymore. They had a couple of farewell tours. And I think that last time I checked, they sold the rights and the music and all that sort of jazz. I think it may have been a licensing deal for 20 years more. I don't know. I forget. But he's always been very outspoken. I never cared for him as a bass player, but he got it in. They did it. They did that thing on stage. I liked Ace Frehley on guitar, and Peter Criss was a decent drummer. I'll just say that again. I saw them one time, Madison Square Garden. I was a kid. So that's my main topic this evening. Gene Simmons says hip hop doesn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let me ask you early. Is he right? Is he right? Modern rock and roll. He gives credit to the founders, and I'm gonna play a clip with him speaking about Chuck Berry. He gives it up. He says, "Without this man, I wouldn't be here." Gene Simmons, in case you don't know, that's not even his real name. He was born in Israel. I think he came here when he was about maybe 8 or 9. I did the research on him years ago. You know, I worked at We. I had to figure everything out about the artist, you know, and yada yada yada. He came here speaking Yiddish. I think he jacked the name Gene Simmons from somebody in 1964. You can research this on your own. Probably didn't pay that guy. Just took the name Gene Simmons. You know? And the rest is history. I followed them as much as I could throughout the up until the point where Eric Carr came in, the drummer. Anyway, so phone lines will be open shortly. Good evening in the live chat. This is a members only live chat. I want to speak to people who really want to have a rational conversation here, because what I'm not going to do is just, you know, sit here and say, oh, they stole this, they stole that. At some point, you got to get past the victim mentality. At some point, you have to say, yes, black people once upon a time in this country had black movie theaters, black bus companies, right? Black butcher shops. So you have to do more than just say they stole this, they stole that. Oh, and before I forget, did anybody see my guy Chuck D walk back calling Elvis a racist? He walked it back. There was a documentary showing the things that Elvis was doing, not just for black people, giving them jobs, not just people in his band, buying people homes, all sorts of shit. Chuck D had to walk it back. Anyway, all right, so that's my main topic, as I said. Showrunner, Nancy Guthrie. New evidence has been recovered. Let me ask you guys, because I haven't really been keeping up, but I have no proof. Is the Guthrie family, are they scamming? Nobody scams like white people, huh? And they do it in the open for all to see. Is Susan Smith still doing life in jail? Anybody remember Susan Smith? Huh? Didn't she say a black guy either took her kids or something? Come to find out she killed the kids. Somewhere up in Boston, you had a girl claimed the black guy did something to her kids. Come to find out she strangled the kids. Up in Boston. I forget her name. Anybody ever heard of Jean-Benet Ramsey? I don't think they ever found the supposed killer, right? You think that's kind of rough to say that? I'm as serious as colon cancer. I'm not trolling. Why people do shit like that? Savannah Guthrie. Was she toward the end of her career? What was it? Good Day and Morning? What show was she on? Pardon me. I didn't even do the research. Was her contract coming to an end? Does she have bills to pay? What is this? 12 days now, this woman, Nancy Guthrie, missing? She's on medication. Did they refill the medication? I'm just asking. I have no proof. I don't want to, be disrespectful. But all right, coming up later, I'm going to play a couple of videos. Thank you for your comments early. Let's get right down to business. Legends and Leaders. This is the YouTube platform where Gene Simmons, co-founder of the rock empire KISS, where he made the statements, and he kind of takes a shot at Eminem as well. So he's an old hater. Oh, he's a hater. Sure he is. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about like relevance, like you were talking about here, like I mean, Kiss has
Oh,
been
I don't
relevant.
care. Oh, no,
I don't even care.
You just brought up a subject I could give a fuck about.
Because it's always been popular.
No, that's not. Well, there's popular, and then there are words like relevance. Who determines relevance? Critics? Who? What is that? What is that word? How do you get you're relevant? Who does that? Or is it the American idea and ideal of the people, for the people, by the people? The first words are "we the people." That's relevance to me. The fact that, for instance, Iron Maiden is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they can sell out stadiums, and Grandmaster Flash is.
Right.
Ice Cube and I had a back and forth, and he's a bright guy, and I respect what he's done. It's not my music. It doesn't speak my language. And I said in print many times, hip hop does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, nor does opera, symphony orchestras. How come the New York Philharmonic doesn't get the rock and roll? Because it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But he shot back and said, no, it's the spirit of rock and roll. Okay, fine. So Ice Cube and Grandmaster Flash and all these guys are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I just want to know when Led Zeppelin's going to be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, really? No. Music has labels because it describes an approach. By and large, rap, hip hop, it is a spoken word art. And you put, beats in back of it, and somebody comes up with a musical phrase, but it's verbal. There are some melodies, but by and large, it's a verbal thing. It's rhyming and all that. And I know Eminem can go. I wish him more success. I really don't give a fuck. It just doesn't speak to me. With the genius of being able to put words and music and arrange it, it's much more complex. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So,
okay, Gene Simmons, standing on business. Now, again, he said this years ago. What say you? Phone lines open. At the same time, I want to see, I would like to see, especially with the emergence of so many people now claiming to be FBA, and we're not going to get into now people pretending to be FBA, because you got a lot of people, as we used to say back in the days, perpetrating the fraud. Salute to the nation of gods and earths. That's one of their sayings. Perpetrating the fraud. A lot of people, 30 years ago, they were Pan-African, supporting Pan-Africanism, and then they were something Afro-Latina, and then anyway. I want to see more. I want to see more. Should there be, or should Black people have their own award ceremonies? Yes, I truly believe that. I just want to put that out there first, and not in any way, shape, or form give you the wrong statement here. Hold on a second. Here's a video. 8 years ago, Gene Simmons at Chuck Berry's funeral. 8 years ago. Let's be fair and objective. I'm not saying you have to defend him or anything like that, but here he is. Watch what he says about Chuck Berry.
I hadn't planned on coming up here and saying anything. I was just standing in the back, and somebody walked over and asked me if I'd like to say a few words. Without Chuck Berry, I wouldn't be here. And everything that became this huge thing called rock and roll started with a guy who just wanted to make people feel good. You know what he did, right? When I saw that moonwalk, get out of here with that stuff. When I saw that, I went, what is that? greatness is unequaled by anybody in any form of music. Maybe Chuck said it best. Roll over, Beethoven. Tell Tchaikovsky the news. Buckle your knees, bow your head. The great Chuck Berry is passing by.
Gene Simmons at Chuck Berry's funeral. Guys, sit tight in the phone queue. If you want to kick his back in, by all means, kick his back in. Don't let me stop you. But just know that he has put a lot of people on, Gene Simmons. Hell, he got Van Halen signed once upon a time to Warner Brothers. Went out of his way to get them signed. You guys, you've heard of Greg Allman. Yes, let me look in the live chat. Anybody heard of Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers Band? Southern Rock. Greg Allman said once upon a time with regards to rap, well, if you put a C in front of it, what do you got? Crap. But for those of you who know your history, the Allman Brothers did have black people in their band. But he made that statement, okay? Thank you for your donation, Lord Stryker. Crazy how y'all in the comments are upset at what he's saying. Just prove that y'all are desperate to be accepted by the dominant society. It's a hard shot. It's a hard shot. Have white people, by way of the music industry, ripped off and robbed black people? Yes! Yes. But what about the coons that have sold black people down the river and sold the yield of their labor for pennies on a dollar? As I said, Chuck D had to walk his comments back about Elvis. Right? Remember that? Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant shit to me, right? Yada, yada, yada. Fuck him and John Wayne. You know this already. Big Ike, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Okay. He refuses to, what? Okay. Refuse to agree with the cave dweller, especially calling something ghetto when we seen how his lazy chosen government funded people. Okay. Cool. Well, Gene Simmons is an old Jew. Jew. Some of you are scared to say that word. You say, small head. He's an old Jew from Israel. So the word ghetto to him is offensive. You know that already, Big RK, right? Did you guys know that? They don't accept that word, ghetto. You know, it has roots going back to the Holocaust and other places. All right. I'm gonna take a call or two. You have to watch the language. I would like to leave this video up. You're my first caller, area code 267. Please watch the language. Are you there? 267. If not, I have to keep it pushing. Let me go to area code 340. Hey there, area code 340. Please watch the language. Are you ready? 347.
Salute, Star. It's 10:51. I'm checking in.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to hear from you. Where do you want to start?
What's up, man? I'm here under the weather, so I won't be long. My objective opinion for this is like two-sided. There's like one side. I understand it seems obvious. It's a rock and roll Hall of Fame, right? So you'd expect, okay, only rock and rollers to be in there, what's not. But we have, when I go down the line of inductees, you have blues, you have R&B, you have folk music, pop music. You have people from a wide plethora of genres, right? So I see it as, depending on sales, your influence, how big the song, if the song itself or the artist itself broke the boundaries of genre because of how big the sales were, the influence, maybe the sound of the music. If it was that good, if it had that much influence, then I say let it ride because that's what they've been doing for decades now, is inducting people from different genres as well, not just rock and roll. So many different genres. So if the song is that big, if the artist was that influential, if they change music, then I say let it ride.
Okay.
You know, that's my opinion.
I'm not necessarily giving him a pass. I mean, I respect his right to say what he said, but at the same time, you know, he has become wealthy, not just rich, wealthy off of the backs of black people from the ghettos in the South. See, I know the history, as I'm sure you do. And, you know, you're from the Virgin Islands, right? Virgin Islands?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not necessarily giving Gene Simmons a pass. I'm curious to know if he has donated money to some of those black architects, their families, because a lot of those guys died penniless, and they had been fighting the corporations, fighting for publishing, a whole lot of stuff. So, you know, it's a layered conversation, but I appreciate you calling in. Anything with regards to the Nancy Guthrie new evidence or missing? Have you been keeping up with that?
No, sir. I gotta get up to speed to that. I'm gonna let you guys go.
Good to talk to you. Salute. Yes, sir. Thank you.
For sure.
10:51 tapping in. Okay, I'm just gonna put this on the screen. Something about Puerto Ricans. Y'all had a lot of negative energy for the Puerto Rican on the national stage, but now y'all are getting the same energy being told to exit Hall of Fame stage left and are sour. Thank you for the donation. Okay. I'm coming to the phone line. Sit tight. Salt and Pepper. Let me just mention them before I pick up the next call here. They got inducted, yes. And they were doing something very fugazi to Cinderella. You guys call her Spinderella. I call her Cinderella because they always treated her like a stepchild. You know, sometimes karma comes back. I don't know what has happened with them. I know their lawsuit was dismissed, but I just wanted to put that out there because you can't always just blame white people, all right? Oh, wait a minute. Peace. Is that left-handed tapping in Thursday night? Peace.
Peace, man. What's going on with you? How you feel?
I'm good, man. Talking about Gene Simmons. Is he talking reckless? Is he speaking facts? In your opinion?
I mean, in my opinion, you know, he has a right to say that. Okay. You know what I mean? But I don't agree with what he's saying. Okay. But I do say that, you know, hip hop does not need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It doesn't.
Whoa.
It doesn't. I feel like, yeah, I don't feel like hip hop needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Come on.
We need our own Hall of Fame, even though that a lot of hip hop was built on the back of rock and roll records, right? And that should be like the only connection, the only parallel that hip hop and rock and roll should have.
Okay.
You know, Gene Simmons brought up flashing them, like, you know, flashing them.
He took a shot. He didn't just bring him up. He took a shot. Pow.
No. Oh, yeah. You know, but I'm saying like this though, but flashing them, remember flashing them to open up for the Clash.
Yeah.
I mean, so rock and roll and hip hop have intersected, right? Gene Simmons, you know, Respect the Kiss and all that, Ace and Peter and all of that. They wouldn't be where they were without all that pancake makeup on their face.
He just mentioned that. I just played the video. He gave it up for Chuck Berry. Standing there.
That's cool.
Over his coffin.
That's cool.
Come on.
You know what I mean? He gave it up to Chuck Berry because he had to, because that's his truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, a lot of those Ofe artists, they give it up to where they got it from. But yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
And for them to cross for Gene Simmons specifically to cross the line and say he doesn't understand it. It's not for you to understand.
Come on.
Right? Even though, and I'm not going to even front on Kiss. I'm not going to front on Kiss because they had some joints. I'm not going to front on them. But here's the thing, though. If you don't like that, then don't speak on it. That don't belong to you. It don't have nothing to do with you. You know, yeah, you spoke eloquently at Chuck Berry's funeral. You had to. But as far as hip hop, what's hip hop got to do with you? Nothing. So I feel like, you know, you just speaking just to be speaking. But again, Star, your question was, does hip hop need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't think so. Look how they treat it.
Well, hold on. That wasn't my question. I said, is he right, Gene Simmons? I haven't stated whether I think it should or shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'll get to my personal opinion. But I'm asking, is Gene Simmons right with what he's saying?
He could say what he want to say, but I don't think he's necessarily right. You know, because again, he shouldn't even be speaking on hip hop. He has nothing to do with it, but he has an opinion and he has a right to it. But is he right? No, he's not right. No.
Okay.
No, because he shouldn't be talking about it anyway. So because we're babies of the rock and roll, blues, the black artists. We're their babies. So why are you speaking on us?
Yeah.
And you just came in bit. I'm taking it back, Star. He came in bit off us.
Right.
And turn his thing into a million.
Beat by the dope style taker, right?
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So you know. But I mean, when you talk to cats that like yourself and myself and our peer group that know we can have these conversations, right? And then we can say, okay, bring up a point that you might agree on or I might disagree on, but we can discuss it. You know what I mean? Like we got some common sense. But again, I don't think hip hop belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with the alleged the thing that's going on uptown in the Bronx, the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. That should be the be all the end all.
Oh God, can we not do that? Can we not do that?
Okay. All right.
Hey, I appreciate you. I got your email piece. As you know, I'm no longer discussing basketball, but I sent you a text about Jose Alvarado. Whenever you get,
yes, sir, absolutely.
Is he Boricua?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And he's doing it.
I may be switching sides to Boricua.
Oh, look at this.
I've already let it be known in a year and a half. If FBA doesn't get their shit together, you know, I may start claiming Boricua. I may go down to Old San Juan and try to buy a piece of property. We'll talk later.
My man. Salute.
Peace. Yes, sir. Star, loyal to no one. Let me look in the live chat real quick. We're not talking basketball, but do you guys know who Jose Alvarado is? Oh, he got busy yesterday. What did he drop? 8 3-pointers? Boricua! Okay, hold on a second. I see you guys in the queue. Oh, there he is, the white Denzel. You got to watch your language and let you know right now. Rory, what's going on?
Yo, what's good?
How are you, man?
Yo, what's good?
It's cracking.
What's going on?
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy.
he kept it real.
Come on.
G simply kept it real. He didn't mention race. He mentioned genre. He didn't mention race. You know, why is it okay for them to have the Source Awards or, you know, the NAACP awards? Nobody ever got a trophy or, you know, a statue at any one of those black award shows for collaborating with Run DMC. You know, nobody ever got no new rock and roll artist ever got an award from, you know, any of those shows. None of those shows. But it's okay for them to get
Aerosmith benefited.
Totally different genre.
You hear what I said?
That's okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Say it again.
Aerosmith was finished, washed. Run DMC breathed life back into them. Throughout the 70s, they were popping. Rick Rubin hooked up, and they weren't even really fucking with rap at that particular point in time. Aerosmith and came out with Walk This Way. Boom! Joe Perry and all of them got back together. Holy shit! Yeah, rap music. Yeah, right on. Go ahead.
Why did they get honored at the Black Award shows
What's
for
that?
crossing lines? Why didn't they get honored at the Black Award shows for crossing the line?
I don't
How
know.
come they've never been honored at any Black music award show for being the why was it only Run DMC was awarded at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Aerosmith was never awarded at the Source Awards, the Soul Train Awards. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, Star. Hall and Oates, Daryl Hall and Oates were the best R&B duo in modern American history.
Stop it.
They never got no Soul Train Awards.
Stop.
They never got no, you know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to argue with me that Jodeci was better than Hall and Oates.
Oh, God.
I nearly had to slap this nigga. You crazy?
Oh, hold on.
You don't know-
Hold on. Now, just because black people didn't have the resources to open up the floodgates and bring in, awards for the many white audiences, at the same time, Soul Train opened up the door for David Bowie and showed him so much love. Remember? Fame.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. But that was a folk album, was it not?
It wasn't so much quote unquote funk. It was an album from a British subject who loved black music. Did you ever see David Bowie when he got at Mark Goodman from MTV, grilled him about why don't you play black music?
Well, we all love black music.
Right.
We all love black American music.
Come on.
If that's why he never talked about color, he talked about genre.
Right.
Why couldn't Jimi Hendrix be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and known as one of the best rock and rollers? It wasn't because of the color of his skin. It's because he could boogie. It's because he was a rock and roller.
Right.
That's why he was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But for him to say, I didn't grow up in the ghetto, and I don't think that hip-hop or rap should be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's absolutely right. None of them cats play an instrument. None of those guys ever played in a band.
Okay.
None of those guys ever they don't even listen to rock and roll. They've never listened to rock and roll. More or less, they were probably grown up on...
Salute to my homie DJ Premier. He and I have had conversations about the band Rush and other groups. There are a lot of rappers, slow down, that are very, very well versed on rock and roll music. So I mean, if you
Not a lot.
hold on. So if you have no problem with what Gene Simmons said, I would I assume that the question I asked, is he right? You would say yes, Gene Simmons is right, and hip hop should not be.
He's 100% right.
Okay.
This is like white flight or gentrification. This is black gentrification. This is black gentrification into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why can't you have why do you have to infiltrate rock and roll? You're hip hop. You've been around 50 years. You held it down. You've been the popular genre for 50, but yet you still have to be accepted by the predominantly white rock and roll community,
Okay.
and we got to get in their Hall of Fame to beat somebody. Why don't you have the hip hop?
Well, hang on. Okay, listen, I need you to land your plane. I'm getting backed up on calls. But now, to be fair, you know more rap lyrics than me. You can spit DMX bars right now, right? Right or wrong?
Like I said, it's not a race thing. It's a genre thing.
Okay.
Why are you putting yourself in a genre you don't belong?
Got you.
It's like being busted to white schools. You have your own schools in the black neighborhood. Make them great. Why? It's the same thing. You're coming over here insisting on cultural appropriation, insisting on acceptance in a genre that is totally different from yours.
Okay.
The Hip Hop Museum is...
Robbie, I don't even want to go in that direction. Hey, man, good to talk to you. Anything else you want to mention about Nancy Guthrie? I have no proof, but I have a suspicion because, based upon Caucasian behavior throughout history.
Yes.
I'm wondering if the family is running some type of play. What do you think about that?
I think You know how white people could be, especially out there in California. I think they took her out for the insurance money and the will. You know how they do. You know how white people do when they get a little bit of money. The parents, the grandparents, we're not going to wait for that goddamn settlement.
Right.
We're not going to wait for that pass me down. You already live. Give me your money.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
I have a feeling she might be in Fort Lauderdale right now with her toes in the sand, sipping a fucking brandy Alexander, and she don't know what's going on. She's on daily medication.
Oh, I believe it. With a black illegal immigrant from Nigeria or Jamaica piping her down.
Easy.
And she's going
easy. She's in her 80s. All right, gotta go. Salute. Let's get him out of here. Talking hella reckless. Nancy Guthrie, new evidence recovered. I'll get to that shortly. Guys, sit tight on the phones. Members only live chat. Blade, yes, kids. Okay, no, Blade, it's kids in service of Satan. That's what they used to claim it stood for back in the days. Kids, ooh, don't let your kids listen to Kiss. Drew, I got your donation. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate your support. Stefan, got your donation. Thank you so much via Cash App. Blade says, damn, Star, you're looking to drop your FBA flag, traitor. Well, listen, I'm only half FBA. I'm half Neapolitan, not to be confused with Sicilian trash. You know this already. A lot of people just now talking this FBA stuff, and I salute them if it's real. I mean, if they're gonna say something other than I think my grandmother was a Cherokee. We'll talk about this later, okay? Hey there, good evening. Area code 917. Please watch the language. Talking about Gene Simmons from KISS and his comments. Are you there? 917. Yes, no, maybe. Got to keep it pushing. Area code 901. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about Gene Simmons and his comments about hip-hop and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Are you there? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, someone else dropped out. Folks, please don't call in and we're on hold and you killed the vibe.
Know this already.
Let's get him out of here.
A lot of people just now talking this FBA stuff, and I
Area code 876. Good evening. Please watch the language. Are you ready? 876.
Yeah, man. My dad. A blessed Thursday evening to you.
Yes, sir.
Star.
How are you, sir?
All right. So off top, I kind of get what Gene Simmons saying, and I've never understood why they induct hip hop acts into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, the closest people I think would probably be in there is like the Beastie Boys, or maybe Run DMC for, like you said, their contributions with resurrecting Aerosmith, and the fact that those earlier albums, Raising Hell and whatnot, were so rock influenced. But as far as the actual genre of hip hop, he's absolutely right, along with all other genres of music. Like, it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's like you're going to a steakhouse. You don't get vegan food at a steakhouse. So, I mean, I've never understood it.
Well, let me respond. Gene Simmons has passed his prime, and he's wealthy. He's not just rich. He's super, super wealthy. So, he's going to stand on his opinion. He's not going to be canceled. But at the same time, it seems like time has passed him by. Things have changed. Many doctrines have been updated, upgraded. And me personally, I would like to see hip hop rappers have a separate, award ceremony. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think for the most part, it lost its luster, value, if you will. It's a different day and time. So that's my personal feelings, but I'm not necessarily mad at him, but I just think that he's working on an older model. Go ahead.
Agreed. Like, hip hop should have had their own infrastructure. I mean, there's a museum So, I mean, why wouldn't they kind of emphasize that type of structure into the whole, you know, documenting the history, paying homage to the history, and also acknowledging the presence and the evolutions and whatnot. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But, you know, even the term rock and roll, like people who speak about that genre, they say rock. I mean, only times I see that is like when I hang out with a certain demographic of a certain age and they're listening to certain things and they will say, yeah, that's some real rock and roll, man. But like, you don't hear young people, like the term rock and roll is not going to float off of a certain person's age tongue. Like that just not gonna happen. So you're right.
Let me jump in for a second. I mean, and again, I want to chop this up. I want other people to feel free to speak. You know, rock and roll used to be considered nigger music. Do you know that?
It wasn't. Ironically, I've been a rockhead since
when Elvis Presley went on the Ed Sullivan show. They said, "Do not film him below the waist because he dances like a nigger. Film him from the waist up. We don't want, you know, white kids across America to start mimicking this nigger music." That's what they called it. Go ahead.
But the funny, ironic part about that was I was listening to a lot of black artists in the early 80s, and because I was an anomaly in that department, I used to get called a sellout. And why I listen to that white people music? I was like, Jimi Hendrix is white people music? Like even when I was like 7 or 8, it never, like, music is just music. And yes, there are genres, there are colors, there are whatever, but at the end of the day, if you're gravitated towards something, you're gravitated towards it, no matter where you come from. I mean, like, yeah, I'm down here in Jamaica, and one of my favorite bands is Slayer.
Okay.
You know, make sense.
Okay.
You know, Dave Lombardo is my goat as far as drummers. You know, Tony Iommi from Sabbath is, you know, Tony Iommi and Hendrix are my original guitar players as like my two goats.
Okay.
So I am very rounded and very knowledgeable, but I don't put myself in a box. But also, with that said, to come back full circle to the topic is we should have our own infrastructure as far as hip hop and black folks or whatever, and let them do them thing. I mean, like I said, with the exception of Beastie Boys and early Run DMC, rap really don't have no business in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm going to land my plane on that.
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Bless up, Zine. Have a good night.
Bless up.
Yeah, you don't know.
Sit tight in the phone queue. Guys, I'm going to skip a couple of links I had here to play. You know the history already. I don't have to sit here and try to do a whole educational show. Anybody ever heard of Sister Rosetta? What's her last name? Jimi Hendrix said she was his #1 inspiration. Let me look in the live chat. Some of you foundational Black Americans. Who was Sister Rosetta? What was her last name? Do you even care? You see, that's my thing. Don't just say, yo, FBA created this, they stole it. And if you don't even know your goddamn history. I'm going to wait until somebody gives me her last. Okay, there we got one person. I don't know. What did she play guitar? Somebody saying, did she play guitar? Let me go to area code 973. Hey there, good evening. Please watch the language. We're having a discussion about Gene Simmons from KISS and his comments. Are you there? Area code 973.
Hello, Star. This is Mr. Lottery. I sent you some emails before.
How are you, sir?
Let me tell you this. Some people saying it's a different genre, but they have several country western stars that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a different genre, but they're there.
Okay.
So hip-hop artists should be there, and they need to be there. Okay. And as far as Mr. Jew Gene Simmons, it's just a typical Jew thing. You let them in, and they try to take over everything. Same thing as Palestine. Typical Jew thing.
Okay, continue on. Continue on.
I'm kind of driving from work, so I'm trying to pull over on the shoulder. But yeah. So all those people that called and said no, it doesn't beat it because it's a different genre. Black people created music. Bottom line, blues came from rock. The rock and roll came from the blues. Point blank. White people ain't invented. Black people did.
Can I ask how old are you, sir? How old are you?
I'm 48 years old from North New Jersey.
Okay. So now, respectfully, do you support, Black music, some of the founders and the traditions that have been passed down, but yet and still just not supported? There's a lot of Black pioneers and architects, legends, if you will, and Black people just don't really care about what they've done with regards to the building blocks of modern music.
Yeah, it kind of goes with your upbringing. If you have a good home structure and listen to different types of music, you will listen to the blues, you will listen to jazz and things of that nature. If your parents didn't hit you on to things like that, you probably only listen to what your friends play.
Okay.
Or hear over the radio.
I hear you taking shots at the Jew, and listen, that's fine. You can do that, but in terms of Black music, what did you grow up listening to? What did your parents play in the home?
My father played jazz.
Okay.
My grandfather played jazz blues. My grandmother played gospel.
Okay.
My mother listened to R&B. I listened to rock and roll because an older cousin of mine lived with me.
Okay.
My sister listened to rock and roll as well. So I grew up on listening to some Bon Jovi and other rock and roll groups, Billy Joel and things of that nature.
Okay.
So I've listened to a whole lot of things. My father played old Jimi Hendrix albums to me and everything.
Okay.
So I've had a wide range. I don't listen to rock and roll too much right now, but I do play Jimi Hendrix from time to time.
Okay.
I do play B.B. King as well.
I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Two people emailed me about my PayPal. Yes, that's the PayPal information on the screen right there. We still use PayPal, and we still use Venmo as well. For those of you who support the machine via Venmo, thank you so much. All right, so I see two people did some research on Sister Rosetta. Oh, yeah. Sit tight. I don't want to go too far back because I don't even know if it makes sense. You know these people, Bo Diddley. Here's something I'm going to play again, and I want you to always keep in mind, don't ever forget, David Bowie grilled the shit out of Mark Goodman back in the days. This was in 1983. This was when MTV was just getting up off the ground. David Bowie, a lot like many artists from the UK and England and Liverpool and Leeds and places like that, they loved foundational Black music. And MTV was not playing Black music back in the days. They were only like spiking Sylvester, Late at Night. There was a rock band called Xavion out of Memphis, Tennessee. Anybody from Memphis, Tennessee in that live chat? Xavion, an all Black rock band. I forget what year they came out. They were on Electra Asylum. But check this out.
I'd like to ask you something. It occurred to me, having watched MTV over the last few months, that it's a solid enterprise, and it's got a lot going for it. I'm just floored by the fact that there's so few Black artists featured on it. Why is that?
I think that we're trying to move in that direction. We want to play artists that seem to be doing music that fits into what we want to play for MTV. The company is thinking in terms of narrow casting.
That's evident. It's evident in the fact that the only few Black artists that one does see are on about 2:30 in the morning or to around 6. Very few are featured predominantly during the day.
No, that's a...
I'll say that over the last couple of weeks, these things have been changing, but it's a slow process.
I know it's funny. I think people have different perceptions when you wind up watching. Let's say you watch an hour or two or even 3 a day. People somehow come away with different ideas about what we are doing. We don't have any kind of day parting for anything. Let alone a black artist day parted out of what would be, quote, prime time. We don't have that.
Because one sees a lot on the there's one black station on television that I keep picking up. I'm not sure which station it's on, but there seem to be a lot of black artists making very good videos that I'm surprised aren't used on MTV.
Well, of course, also we have to try and do what we think not only New York and Los Angeles will appreciate, but also Poughkeepsie or Midwest. Pick some town in the Midwest that will be scared to death by Prince, which we're playing, or a string of other black faces.
That's
and black
very
music.
Interesting. Isn't that interesting?
You know, we have to play the music that we think an entire country is going to like, and certainly we're a rock and roll station now. The question would be asked: well, should since we're in New York, should PLJ play the Isley Brothers? Well, you and I might say, yeah, because we have grown up in an era when the Isley Brothers mean something to me, and so do the Spinners, even way after the Isley Brothers. But what does it mean to a 17-year-old? Well, if you talk on the phones to these guys like I did when I was in radio, it's
well,
scary.
I tell you what it means. I tell you what maybe the Isley Brothers or Marvin Gaye means to a black 17-year-old. And surely he's part of America as well.
No question, no question. And that's why you're seeing those things.
So you not find that it's a frightening predicament to be in?
David Bowie pressing the shit out of Mark Goodman, who was one of your original MTV VJs, and he won't let it go. Bowie, who had monster hits back in the 70s, so in reality, he didn't give a fuck about MTV. Why aren't you playing black music that he grew up on, and a host of others? This is a classic. In case you've never seen it, pay attention. Oh, and in case you don't know, he married a black woman as well, Iman.
Yeah, but less so here than in radio.
And is it not? Well, no, don't say. Well, it's not me, it's them. Is it?
No,
Is
well,
it not possible that it should be a conviction of the station and of other radio stations? To be fair, it does seem to be rampant through American media. Should it not be a challenge to try and make the media far more integrated in music, especially of anything in musical terms?
Absolutely, I think it's happening because white music and white musicians are now starting to play more than ever, more than they have lately, let's say in the last 10 years, what black artists have been into. And now, hopefully, the lines are going to start to blur. And when we play a band like ABC, well, there's white and black kids who are enjoying it. And all of a sudden, well, it's a little bit easier for a white kid to understand it. The fact is, quite frankly, I could even point you towards a letter in the new issue of The Record, the magazine The Record, responding to an article by Dave Marsh that this kid just ranted about what he didn't want to see.
Okay, you can watch that on your own. David Bowie, 1983, grilling Mark Goodman about why they don't play black music. You should know David Bowie's history. I don't have to sit here and comb through it. All right. Let me go to area code 901. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about Gene Simmons, his comments about hip hop and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 901.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So, man, it's really sad. I'll see Gene Simmons as that old saying, old fools used to be young fools.
Okay.
Because what's crazy is hip hop. Without hip hop, I don't even think rock and roll would have lasted as long as it's lasted. Because like you mentioned earlier, Aerosmith, Run DMC. Let's take it back to the Fat Boys and the Beach Boys. Their career was falling off. So they put Wipeout back there. And then all throughout the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you got genres like reggae music. You got Bob Marley in there. You got Kool Herc in there for hip hop and the Jamaican connection in hip hop. And I mean, you got a lot of really, really cool artists from a lot of different genres. And then you got to think about the guy that created the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ahmet. Like this dude is from Atlantic Records, and he wrote for Ray Charles. He wrote the song "Mess Around," one of his biggest hits. Like this man.
You mean Ahmet Ertegun?
Yeah, Ahmet Ertegun. Yeah. If anybody's ever seen the movie Ray, the guy that was played by my homeboy from Revenge of the Nerds, he played him, and there was a scene where he was sitting with Jamie Foxx, who was Ray Charles, singing the song "Do the Mess Around." And
Ahmet Ertegun, Ertegun, Ertegun. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ahmet Ertegun, and Turkish dude.
Yeah.
And what it was, and knowing immigrant and all that, and knowing that Gene's the son of immigrants, and that knowing that he possibly had family that came from the ghettos in Europe. So just the ignorance that he's spewing right now is just crazy. And not to mention, he got a co-sign in '96 for Tupac Shakur, who's also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tupac brought Kiss back out in the mid-'90s at the Grammys in '96. It was like, man, these my guys, Kiss, y'all, man. Look, these guys, they my homies. So we got to get that black card back now. I'm sorry, Gene. We got to get that.
Well, hang on a second. Now, musicians, artists, and what have you, at some point they do become compromised. They'll say anything. 10 years ago, when Gene Simmons said this, Ice Cube addressed him, but he was on his best behavior. He wasn't talking reckless. He said, "No, I got a lot of respect for Gene Simmons." Saying, so he was tap dancing, and I'm not mad at that. But with regards to the artist, they're gonna say what needs to be said so that they can keep eating. I get that. And again, I'm not here to kick Gene Simmons back in, but I would like to see rappers, hip hop, get its own thing, and not necessarily depend on whether we're going to get voted in this year. That's that old shit. Go ahead.
It's beyond its own thing at this point. It's like Pandora's box is open through hip hop. It's a culture. It's engulfed the world. It's engulfed genres. It's connection to reggae music. Like it's just like reggae music. It's engulfed genres. Like it's in gospel. It's done in different languages. It's done in different, different cultures in different ways. No matter where you go all over the world, you can go to some of the slums and shanty towns. I've been to different parts of the Bahamas where we got like.
Sir, can I jump in for a second? Where are you calling from? What state are you calling from?
Tennessee, right out of Tennessee, like South Haven, Mississippi.
I was just asking if anybody ever heard of a band out of Memphis, Tennessee called Xavion. They put out I promoted them.
Oh,
yeah, I promoted them. I promoted 1984. The album was called Burning Hot on Asylum Records. They were an all-black band out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were the first black rock band on MTV that saw Eat Your Heart Out. I actually know a few members of the band. Okay. Like I've got family members who played with them, grew up with them. Like Xavion, they were the truth, but their sound was a lot similar to, I'll say, like Prince's sound with a lot of the keyboards, the synths and stuff like that. Right. But they weren't just like heavy, just straight up rock, two guitars, or just a heavy guitar driven sound like a Kiss. Like Kiss was a spectacle. I thought one of their better albums was when they took out the makeup. And guess what? On that same album,
hold on. Sir, don't give them too much credit because right before the album you're talking about, Lick It Up, where Vinnie Vincent played guitar, they put out Creatures of the Night, and even though they had Ace Frehley's face on there, he didn't play on the album at all. So they lost themselves. Vinnie Vincent would never sign a contract. They got rid of him after 2 years. He then sued them for like 20 years. So no, they lost their mojo. They finally got it back, but the 70s, I left them in the 70s. They were too much of a novelty act, and I had to grow up. But go ahead.
And what's even funny, the ironic thing, check out a song called All Hell's Breaking Loose. Paul Stanley actually does a rap verse in that song.
I know that.
I guess that's why.
Sir, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, and the fact that now Gene is saying something about it when his career was brought up through a lot of rap shows, even like Mad. They made an appearance on Mad TV, and Mad TV was big in the hip hop hip hop scene. It was very hip hop oriented. Like they had a lot of comebacks to hip hop, which is very strange that he's saying this. Right?
Well, again, I think
I could go on and on.
Yeah, I think he's an old hater. You know, he's an old hater. But I appreciate the call, man. And you say Xavion is still performing?
I don't think they are. I heard one of the members. Don't quote me on this. One of them might have been sick or on drugs or something. I don't want to say that, but I don't know for sure. Right. But
if you find out anything, please email me. I like that that track they had, "Eat Your Heart Out." That was a good track.
Eat Your Heart Out. Yeah, that was an amazing song.
Yeah. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Xavion. Folks, we ask that you hit the like button. The Cash App link is at the top of the live chat. If you respect the grind, the content, okay? Yeah, I saw Chuck D, responding to Gene Simmons. You know, he kept it real classy. Guys, listen, I fuck with Chuck D heavy. He invited me on his radio show years ago. We had a good conversation. Anybody want to hear what Chuck D from Public Enemy says? He's not taking no shots. He's very diplomatic. And, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. Let me take a call first, and maybe I'll come back to it. Area code 714. Good evening. Please watch the language. Talking about Gene Simmons, hip hop, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 714.
Good evening, Mr. Troy Train. This is Fernando Mayen calling from Anaheim, Orange County, California.
Hey, man. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty well tonight. How about yourself?
Good. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I wanted to call about Gene Simmons. I believe he's wrong.
Okay.
About hip hop not belonging in the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, pretty much.
Okay.
And I actually know someone that knows Gene personally from the Animalized Kiss album, Mark St. John.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guitarist myself. I'm a rhythm guitarist.
Okay.
And they pretty much punked Mark St. John out of the tour in Europe. They treated him with disrespect.
Well, hang on a second now, sir. That's hearsay. Technically, I don't know that to be true. But now I do know that Vinnie Vincent, who came in before Mark St. John, he would not sign a work-for-hire agreement. And then he sued Kiss, claiming that he is owed royalties, yada, yada, yada. Was Mark St. John working under a work-for-hire agreement?
Honestly, I do not know the behind. I know my guitar manager taught me about Mark St. John since I'm from Orange County. Mark St. John's from Orange County. Went to Garden Grove High School. I went to Fullerton High School.
You might want to check that respectfully, because I can't sit here and just slander people. If I'm not mistaken, you know, more than likely they offered Mark St. John, who was a decent guitar player. He was decent. A work-for-hire agreement.
His name is he worked for a place called KZEY over here in Orange County's radio station.
Okay.
In Orange County, they sold it to another county over here. They lost rights to family when the kids sold the business pretty much. But yeah, I think just hip hop belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, especially Tupac. DJ Quick is a big key producer. I look up to DJ Quick, one of my all-time favorite producers. As well as Nip Hussle that belongs in there. R.I.P. The marathon continues. I'm a big hip hop and rock and roll fan. My family is of Mexican German descent.
Okay.
So I have a good knowledge of history and music.
Is Carlos Santana in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I forget. Is Carlos Santana in there?
Honestly, I don't know, but he should be. He definitely should be. A lot of people deserve.
Can you Google? You say you're of Mexican descent. I'll wait on you. He should be. Carlos Santana.
Yeah, give me one second, Mr. Troy Train. I'll look it up right now.
I'll Google as well. Troll Babies is Carlos Santana in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Let's see. Is he? He was in 1998.
Okay. So he was inducted. Yeah.
He was.
1998.
I think everyone deserves to be in there. That makes dope music. Anybody.
I'm not too sure about that. You know, some of the people who were, posers, if you will, and they didn't write stuff, and they burnt themselves out, and they had maybe one hit. Everybody can't get in there. A lot of people want to get in there, and I'm not giving the process any real, credit at this point in time, because I think it's lost its luster, just like the Oscars and different stuff like that. But go ahead. You were saying, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying what else? I grew up listening to The Doors. That's my favorite band of all time, The Doors and Nirvana. I love Jim Morrison. Obviously, they're probably in there, obviously, because they're, Caucasian descent. They're kind of biased with a lot of different musicians. I think just artists should be respected. The writers, the guitar players, the drummers, everybody that makes music, the producers, everybody that's a part of the team deserves to be in there. The managers, too, their names. Just comments.
How old are you again?
Believe.
How old are you?
I'm 31 years old. 31.
Well, Jim Morrison was long gone and dead when you were coming up. So.
Yeah, I grew up skateboarding. I grew up skateboarding with white boys over here in Dogtown. I'm from Venice Beach. I'm from Venice Beach. I'm actually from Anaheim.
Okay.
But I love just everything. I love artwork. Tupac. I have only got Judge Me tattooed on my chest. I was like 16 when I got that.
Whoa. Okay.
Because of Tupac. So.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy Turner. I'm a long-time listener since high school.
Okay.
Love what you do.
Thank you, man. All right.
Okay.
The Doors. Come on, touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid? What was that promise that you made? Anybody know that song? Let's see what Chuck D, my homie Chuck D, is talking about. Chuck D switched up. He walked back those comments about Elvis. Here we go.
Well, number one, Gene Simmons seems to say this every 3 years anyway. And I guess when the latest group of hip-hop artists and rap music artists come in, he's going to issue his point. I mean, he's a rock god, But what he fails to realize is that it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And everything else other than rock, when rock and roll splintered in the 60s, is the roll. And soul music, reggae, hip hop, which is rap music, because hip hop is a culture. So it embodies, sight, sound, story, and style. But music, the vocal on top of the music has already been determined. So that's the roll, that's the flow, that's the soul in it. Kiss are rock gods, but they don't have a lot of roll to them. I'm Black, born in 1960. Being told that I don't belong doesn't even faze me. You know what I'm saying? I really relish the opportunity that I'm able to even be in the music business at all. And thank God for hip hop and rap music making it possible. If somebody would have told me in 12th grade in 1977 that I would be making records of being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even or whatever, number one, I would have been scratching my head like doing as what? I had no idea. But he ain't never going to get off at that point. So, we're in a time where everybody's saying everything at the same time. Nobody's really listening. So Gene is going to probably scream out that probably for the rest of his life. And, he's entitled to his opinion, and he's dealt in into the music for so long that his opinion is probably going to be stuck to him. However, I've been, a musicologist of note. I'm not a plug guy, but I just recently put out this week, and then I taught a UCLA class for 10 weeks on exactly the threads of what the culture is about, how the music is related, not just 100 years back or 150 years back in documentation, but how it goes back, maybe 1,000 years. So scholarship matters. Those who really, were in the middle of the muck creating something out of nothing, you got to consider that too. If hip hop created something out of nothing as a culture with rap music, that's no more different than, somebody playing a chord on the side of a shack during slavery. But then again, people are calling slavery forced labor right about now. So we gotta just watch the narratives, and we just gotta understand that, people they're gonna stay with their
Chuck D, what do you think from Public Enemy? Yeah. Guys, that's my email address on the screen. Thank you for sending me news stories throughout the day. I've been combing through a bunch of things. Some of the other stories I'm going to play tonight are some updates, but hold on a second. Let me mark this off here. David Bowie. Area code 973. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about Gene Simmons from KISS. Is he talking reckless or is he speaking facts?
Salute.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good. I it's like a couple of people kind of said what I was going to say, but I'll just say it anyway. It's American music,
okay,
and it was created in America. And the Hall of Fame, to me, is saluting the music and the
Sir, I didn't hang up on you. Hello? Okay, I didn't hang up on him. I think his phone dropped out. So you might want to call back.
Is that me?
Yeah, 917. Is that you?
Yeah.
Hello?
937.
Yeah, I didn't cut you off. Did your phone drop out? Go ahead. Your phone dropped out.
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying, remember Dope Beat KRS-One? Wasn't that an AC/DC riff? I mean, it's not saying because somebody used riff as a sample, but it's American music, and all of it is saluted in the Hall of Fame. Like somebody mentioned country music. If it's made in America, rock and roll doesn't mean rock and roll in the sense that, because I remember the kids in the Bronx used to call rap rock. Let's rock, y'all. You don't stop.
Right.
It's rock, and people get too technical. To me, it's American music. Gene Simmons he's entitled to his opinion, but it's American music. And if it wasn't for rap for the last 4 decades, that it created a whole industry. Most of you guys would be starving anyway. The award shows, all of that. The whole industry was riding on the backs of rappers for the last, and a lot of those guys are broke right now, which is a shame. So they had no business to be criticizing the few guys who actually get into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I appreciate the call.
Salute, Star.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Everything.
Okay. I'm going to play a video, not just yet. Trying to get an update on Nancy Guthrie. Let me look in that live chat. Guys, with all due respect, you think the Guthrie family is running a play? It just seems kind of odd. 12 days this woman has been missing, the new evidence, and then we see somebody on the ring cam. White people in this country, I say this with all due respect, when they run plays, they're big plays. They're not just low-level nigger shit, Susan Smith in South Carolina, didn't she drown her babies, her white babies, respectfully? And what's that girl's name up in Boston? I think she strangled her 2 or 3 kids, blamed it on a black guy. And as I said, Jean-Benet Ramsey, just white people run plays. Yes, no, I have no proof. I'm just asking. Hold on. Okay, I spoke to this person. I might watch one of those live streams tomorrow with regards to Nancy Guthrie, okay? Thank you for your patience. Are you there? Whatever your code you're calling from. Good evening. Yes, no, maybe. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got to keep it pushing. Okay.
Star?
Hey. Pick it up.
Star.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
Star Detroit Ziggy. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, your phone's going in and out. Hello?
Okay. Can you hear me?
It's a little better. Detroit Ziggy, how are you, man? What's going on?
I appreciate your program tonight. How are you?
Good. What do you want to start, sir?
All right, Star. So, Star, we're at the 12th day of Black History.
Ziggy, your phone's going in and out, man. I'm trying. Your phone it's cracked.
I'll call back. Thank you.
Okay. His phone is someone's gonna hold on a second, guys. Drop caller. Hey there, 917. Good evening. Please
Hello.
watch the language.
Yeah.
Are you there, 917?
Oh, all right, I'm here, Star. Thank you. This is Big J from the Bronx.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Okay.
It's cracking.
All right, my thing is this. If I recall, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, hip hop didn't ask to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If I recall, the first people they inducted was the Furious Five. And like Melly Mel said, they needed to say it came from somewhere. They originally tried to put Run DMC in there, but you know what that was all about, because they're the ones that started this commercial stuff with the rock and roll. Okay. We had that record in the Bronx with Toys in the Attic, and we was fine with keeping it with James Brown. They're the ones that started doing all that rock and roll stuff. But anyhow, I just feel that they put it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because the rap music, the hip-hop music, was starting to get just as big as the rock and roll. So they wanted to make it a numbers thing.
Right.
You know, they wanted to make it a numbers thing and add it on and put it in their genre. Because we didn't ask to get down with that. We was good where we was at.
Well, hang on a second, sir. Now, you know, Melly Mel's a good guy, even though he walked back all of his slick talk at Eminem. You mentioned Toys in the Attic, which was an old Aerosmith track.
That's it.
Aerosmith.
That's the Bronx beat.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm
right.
60.
Hang on. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm going to let you speak, sir. But now the labels are the ones who push to get certain groups and or artists in these award ceremonies. And the labels spend Skrilla because it helps with other sales, notoriety, investors, and things of that nature. So
Russell Simmons.
Well, hang on. I just want to speak to your point with regards to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. That was the right choice because of popularity and the huge song, The Message. Now, I don't know the full story about why Run DMC didn't make it in there first, but it may have been a type of legal issue. Maybe they didn't want to spend the money, but you're right with regards to what you're saying. They didn't necessarily seek out. They didn't seek out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They came to them because of money that was generating sales. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely right because they already knew that the first line was told when the Sugar Hill Gang did Rapper's Delight. So they would have once a fool, twice an idiot. So that's why they gave it to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. But commercially, they wanted to give it to Run DMC. And like we said, it's the money. Russell Simmons, who was always promoting and paying people on this table, was getting the labels to push that rock and roll. All right? The hip-hop people from the Bronx, we didn't ask to do that. We have been rocking to all of those rock and roll break beats since the 70s. We wasn't looking about trying to cross over with none of that. They took it there. That was Queens making those moves.
Uh-oh.
The Bronx was fine where it was when we were breakdancing.
Hang on, sir. You just I heard the sly wheel kick. So you're saying
I'm from the boogie down where it first began, bro.
You're saying Queens started selling out hip hop first.
There you go. There you go with that rock and roll shit. They was the first ones to start.
Sir, please watch the language, please. Please watch.
I got you. My bag. I got you. But that was Russell Simmons because he was a snake and he was doing everything to make it.
Easy.
Okay? We was good. Bambaataa will tell you that. Bambaataa will tell you that when they was coming around, we wasn't trying to get with all of that. We was just doing our thing. They took it and started commercializing it. All right? And so that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the only other person that I know that was fighting to get into those awards was Will Smith because he wanted to get into the Grammys. But other than that, hip-hop, original hip-hoppers, was not trying to bang down those doors and do all of that. So I believe that they wanted to add that on to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it was just making American music big.
Right.
Like the guy said, if you bring everybody into it, country, a little bit of hip-hop, Because like I said, rock and roll was really not. Some of the hip hop record was passing the rock and roll.
Well, hang on a second. You said you're how old now from the Boogie Down?
61.
Okay. You and I are the same.
I'm the one who called in a few months ago and told you about Cool Herc.
All right.
When the
Sir, I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. Please, I don't remember a call for Cool Herc. Now, hold on a second.
Yo, I know the stories, bro. I know the stories. I know who the sellouts are. I know who lied to get the museum.
Okay.
I know everything. So when I call,
well, hang on a second. Stay with me now. Have you put out a book or have you documented what you know?
Nah. It ain't that serious, nah. But I know, I know. And these dudes are old.
Well, now hang on a second. Stay with me. Listen, I'm trying to get you back.
I'm here, bro.
Sir, I'm trying to get you back. Now, if you have stories, if you've seen niggas, smoking the glass dick or, sniff and blow, let me put you on Vlad's couch. Have you seen things?
Nah. I ain't gonna do that. Nah, I'm good, but I know the fact is the fact.
Okay. Before you go, 1978, who put out the track Super Sporm? SPORM. Super
Captain Sky.
Captain Sky. Super Sporm. Yeah. I appreciate the call, man. Salute.
All right, salute.
Okay. We just took it back, 1978. Everybody hold on a second. Hold on. Tonight is members only live chat. I want us to have this conversation and really get to the root of what's being said here by Gene Simmons. Again, he's been saying this for years. This is not new. Is he talking reckless? When you look at the architects, again, of rock and roll, which was considered nigger music, and they wouldn't want to put people on certain stages, couldn't go into the front door. Black people had to enter through the back entrance and things of that nature. So a debt is owed to black musicians, not just 40 acres and a mule, but these corporations have become fat in a sense off of the yield of black music. I spoke to my homie Goo earlier. Let me see if he tapped in. And I was asking him about some of the mechanical royalties and the residuals and, people who may have, sold the rights to certain things because of the way that deals were structured once upon a time. And I forget what year it was, but having worked at the labels myself, I do know that somewhere around going into the late 80s, they started to implement certain words and contracts with regards to universe. If you sold product or anything was exploited, keyword, in the universe, they would own the intellectual property for that. So they were already thinking about, hey, if something pops up on another planet, we own it there too. Very, very shady and underhanded shit. I just wanted to say that, okay? Area code 718. Please watch the language. Gene Simmons, is he talking reckless or is he right? Area code. Okay, they've dropped out. Are you there? 718, yes, no?
718, I'm in here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace to the God.
Please don't call me brother, sir. Please. That's all I ask. And watch the language.
Listen,
where do you want to start?
Simmons, I'm gonna tell you this, Star. Gene Simmons is not the first one that have made comments like this, but on another point of that, he has every right to make that comment.
Okay.
Every right in the world to make that comment. That man he made his bones, right? But one thing you touched on of the monetary value of getting into that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And these brothers going out there and they going on tours and making money and feeding their families. Now, have we, our people, hip hop, have we feasted off of that? I don't think we have as much as the rock and roll community has. because we haven't gotten there yet. What's your opinion on that?
I'm letting you speak. I mean, are you? What is your? You asking me a question about? I need to be clear. What's your question?
Yeah. What I'm gonna say is Gene Simmons is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Hip hop doesn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, I don't think so. And you know, I'm gonna leave you on that. I'm gonna land my plane, but I'm gonna say one more thing about that Nancy Guthrie thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a testament to how nasty the press can be. It's a nasty situation out there in Arizona. And oh man, you look at this guy from TMZ. He's all over it with the letters and everything. It's just a nasty. And it's a disgusting situation out there, Mark.
Well, hang on a second. So, what do you mean, like too intrusive, too
very intrusive?
Well,
not very intrusive on the family. It's America at its finest. Just eating high off the hog. Everybody wants the story.
Mm-hmm. Are you a black man, sir?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm a dirty Brooklyn nigga.
With all due respect, sir, white people are known for running plays, and they have blamed black people. So I'm okay with the intrusiveness. I mean, I saw them putting up the tent and all that sort of jazz. So listen, maybe the public can help you. You're asking the public for help, so let us in. Let's get a flashlight in everybody's ass. Let's find out if the sister, the cousin, the nephew, let's see who had something to benefit by way of. This woman, again, is on medication. So the medication has to be refilled at some point, yes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the most scary part about it. 8 days, we're going on 2 weeks, a whole week and a half without medication. It don't look too good, Star. And I'm not going to put that out in the air, but it just don't look good. It doesn't sound good. Listen, Star.
You shedding a tear for white folks, sir? You shedding tears for white folks?
Say that again?
Are you shedding tears for white folks that you don't even know, sir?
Hey, listen. In the words of a great American,
gotta go, sir. Salute. Boy, damn, he sound really concerned. Oh, this is nasty work, intrusive. If that was a black family, boy, they would have had people in handcuffs. Somebody would have been in a goddamn lineup. Thank you for becoming a new member. Hold on a second, guys. Yes, Gene Simmons has been saying this. This is nothing new. But do you, if you're black, especially if you're foundational black American, do you preserve the history, the lineage of what people have created in this country? Black people, you can't just be screaming, oh, FBA, they tethers. I mean, that's about to run out real soon. I'm letting you know, Guys, sit tight. I want to play another video here. They caught my nigga, huh? Oh, shit. You guys up to speed, Gigi Gotti? Oh, man. I didn't see the whole video yet. Uh-oh. What happened? You guys know who Gigi Gotti is? Was he trying to get it? Was he trying to get it? Hold on. This came out 2 days ago. I'm just now getting up to speed. Here we go.
Traffic stop and a getaway that didn't quite get away, and thousands of opioid pills recovered.
So 4 men from California are now charged here in Butler County. And tonight, newly released body camera video shows how quickly police caught up with them. Our WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson live in Westchester with a story you'll see only here on WLWT. Hi, Karen.
Well, good evening again, Cherie. Yes, among those arrested and now charged with drug possession, a California-based rapper known as Gigi Gotti. His real name is Marcus Fandroy, and police say he was driving down I-75 last week in Westchester when police made this stop.
The initial traffic stop on I-75 in Westchester was short-lived. The suspects weren't getting far.
It did hit sticks. It did hit sticks.
One exit south near the streets of Westchester. 4 men bailed.
Get down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground!
But police caught up.
I will shoot you! Get your hands in the air!
Westchester police arrested 4 men from California.
Why are you arresting? Because your name's Anthony Ellis and you've been breaking into pharmacies all over the place.
And searched the rental car they were in.
We searched it thoroughly. There was a large amount of pharmaceuticals in the car that looked like they came just straight from the pharmacy.
Nearly 3,000 pain pills seized, including oxycodone, morphine, and Vicodin, drugs that investigators say were stolen.
The drugs that were found were from a pharmacy called the Medicine Shop in Bellevue, Ohio. We believe that cash was found as well that was taken from a pharmacy in Perrysburg, Ohio.
Detectives say they had their eyes on the men since one of them landed at CVG last week. Tyrus Crew, Anthony Ellison, Laquan Miller, and Marcus Fantroy, also known as rapper Gigi Gotti, all now face drug possession charges.
We're looking at over $10,000 to $15,000 worth of pharmaceutical drugs, at least. That's what it is to the pharmacy. That's not what it's worth in the street. So we're talking lots and lots and lots of bills.
Detective Kevin Berger said in court today, these men, quote, do this quite often. And tonight, WLWT Investigates is still digging into who these people are, if they are possibly facing charges elsewhere. Also, I should note, here in Butler County, Judge Courtney Caparella-Kramer found there was enough evidence to bind this case over to a grand jury. Reporting live tonight in Westchester, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
Gigi Gotti, you guys up to speed? You know who that is? He's about a rapper. I like some of his setups and schemes. All right. Ghost Face, I got your donation. What is this here? Rock and roll has always been an umbrella. The Hall has inducted NWA. Graham has the Flash, Miles Davis, Dolly Parton, and Bob Marley. Rap evolved from the same American roots. It deserves its place. I agree. I haven't given my full answer until now. I think hip hop does belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's one of the building blocks, of modern music. Many people counted it out. It had some rough moments at first, the stealing, sampling, if you will, of other people's music. But it has provided revenue streams for a lot of people who once, didn't get paid from the corporations, if you will. So it has generated income, not just, for those within the circles of the artist, but for some of the other musicians, Again, Aerosmith, they were finished. They were finished, man. And that whole Walk This Way brought them back to life. Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, they weren't getting along. I mean, I was never into Aerosmith like that, but I just wanted to make that known. Thank you for your comment and your donation. Okay, I think Yosef, where's Yosef at? Is he in the queue somewhere? Yosef, I'm just now seeing your email. Are you calling in? Where is Yosef? Area code 646. Good evening. Please watch the language.
Good evening, Star.
Hey.
Good evening, Star.
Hey. You're on a speakerphone or something. You got to make the adjustments. It's a little hard to hear you, sir.
All right, hold on. I'm printing some stuff in the back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Good evening, Star.
Hey.
I've been following you back since.
Nobody cares, sir. Please get to the topic. Get to the topic.
I think Gene is right what he's saying, but after it comes off, he's been saying that for years, to be honest with you. But it comes off more like he don't want us there in a sense, because it's got black culture in a sense.
Okay.
But then again, blacks created rock and roll, so kind of like a lineage in a way. So even I feel hip hop needs its own area, but then again, kind of belongs there because it's an extension of everything.
Okay.
More or less to say. Pretty much.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel that culture is more dominant than rock and roll. You go any part of this world, people are doing hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
As compared when rock and roll was going on. at its peak in time. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Well, hang on a second, because you know, if you ask me, rock and roll kind of killed itself. It got really corny. I mean, I was really into the grunge scene. You know, a lot of the bands out of Washington State, Seattle, even Queensryche before the grunge movement really went into effect. But you know, all the hairspray and the spandex and the glam metal and all that sort of shit, it got corny. So hip hop and rap music became more so a reflection of society, if you will. You know, the crime, the drugs, females, just, you know, going from, I don't know, just glorifying hedonistic behavior. So hip hop and rap music did become a reflection, if you will, of society. Yes.
Yes, pretty much so.
Okay. So we can't run from who we are in a sense. But let me ask you this. Do you think if more hip hop and rappers, you know, become inducted, and do you think it will become ghetto in a sense?
Not at all. It'd be more now it's the hip hop house, no longer the rock and roll house.
Okay. I'm listening. Go ahead.
And not only that, let's be honest too. Sampling, we could touch on that in the very beginning. People were like, you know, you're stealing stuff, but let's be honest, we took what was needed to, you know, express, and it kind of brought life into a lot of those people who that got sampled, who were forgotten about. So, and again,
I've already put that on the table, but let's go back for a second, because Gene Simmons seems to be fixated on the word ghetto. He says, I'm not from the ghetto, but in reality, he is from the ghetto. You know, he was born and raised in a place where he says he was dirt poor. And he says, if I remember correctly, he and his mother had to go use a hole in the ground for a goddamn commode. And he spoke about his upbringing when his family came to America. His mother and father divorced. So in a sense, is he a hypocrite? Because again, jazz, blues, it comes from the ghettos of the South. Yes? No?
Yes, very much correct. It's like, you know, dipping in the pocket and then take it and then walk it away and say, ha, and not give him credit where it came from.
Right.
And like I said, I'm a 72 baby.
Okay.
Hip hop baby. I didn't listen to rock growing up. I'll be honest, in my later years, in my 50s, I kind of like dab into it now.
Okay.
But I was new of Kiss and stuff because they always got the painted faces when I remember when I was a kid and everything. And in my house, that was Satan stuff in a sense, you know?
Okay.
And everything. But he been like that since I remember when I was a little kid, because I have white friends and they like rock and they always came across like that. And it goes back to what I said. It's like you said, it's that ghetto stuff we don't want to hear. But then again, the music you're doing was created by black people. And so, like, you know, it's an oxymoron in a way.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Salute.
Yeah, have a good evening.
Okay. Folks, I don't mean to be rude when people call and say, oh, I've been listening. It's just, you know, the newer audience, they don't care. They want you to get right to the topic. So, you know, that's what we do. Hold on a second, guys. I don't have my contacts in. Okay. Gigi flew all the way to Ohio to rob a Paramount. Low budget Ninja. He must. Okay. I don't know the full story on Gigi Gotti in terms of that whole situation. But they got him. Oh, they got him. Yeah. And the word ghetto, with regards to people of the Jewish culture, it's offensive. So that's why Gene Simmons is saying what he's saying, you know. And again, as I said earlier, he's not going to be canceled. Not today, not tomorrow, nor in the future. He is a money-making machine. I forget when they sold or did a huge licensing deal for their images, likeness, music. It's a lot of years ago. Hey there, area code 778. Is that Yosef? Yosef.
Yeah, what's happening, Star?
Hey,
How's
man.
it going, man?
Good to hear from you, man. I just got your email. What's cracking?
Oh, not much, man. Yeah, I was wondering if you saw anything in the news about what happened up in my country. Some crazy stuff. I didn't want to go too off subject. That's why I shot you the email before calling in. But I'll touch on the subject, and maybe if there's still some time, I'll talk about that later. But
well, you're talking about some type of Caucasian transgender who killed a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, some crazy.
I'm not interested, sir. I'm focused on America. You guys gotta handle
on the bullshit.
You guys, hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch the language, or I'll get you out of here, Joseph. I'll get you out of here. Are we clear?
I understand,
are we clear?
sir.
Okay. I don't give a goddamn about shootings up in Canada. Let's talk about Gene Simmons, hip hop, rock and roll Hall of Fame. Come on.
All right, let's go. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to wrap my Jew head around this one. Why does hip hop need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it exists solely as such a strong genre? Shouldn't there just be its own Hall of Fame? Like, why does it need to be in the Rock Hall of Fame? The rock music has no place in the hip hop Hall of Fame, and there's no reason that hip hop artists should be trying to be in the same house as a lot of this rock and roll stuff. Not to say it's a white only genre, but I do think that hip hop has solidified itself as kind of a lone wolf when you look at other musical genres. And I was kind of interested. Made me think on the last caller when he was just mentioning stuff about sampling and stuff. And I thought back. I don't know if you remember. You might remember this when Lord Tariq and Peter Guns Steely Dan demanded 100. I think it was over 100 grand or something for a sample clearance, and that was like in the 90s. And you kind of makes you think, like, I don't really think hip hop's ever even been respected by a lot of these artists. So I think it's like, man, why are you trying to appease people? Go build your own Hall of Fame. There's enough.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course, sir.
Okay. That's a fair statement. Why don't you have your own, award ceremonies? However, having worked at record labels and distribution centers for almost 15 years, there is money that's owed to Black artists, Black families. There is publishing that needs to be, handed down. There are mechanical royalties that will be collected and put into escrow accounts in 50 years to come. So you do your own thing, stop complaining. Well, you're not saying complaining, you're saying they should do their own thing, and I get what you're saying. But
yeah, because I think that
but no, you owe us because you've been robbing and stealing. Now that's not the victim mentality, that's the reality.
Of course.
That's the reality.
Can I butt in?
Go ahead.
And then, and kind of continue with what you're saying, hip hop. And listen, I almost feel like as a white person in Canada, I almost feel like I can speak on this because hip hop is the most mainstream genre across suburbia. And I will die on that hill. Hip hop, what is marketed now? I'm not talking like, they don't have kids in the suburbs listening to Dead Prez, unfortunately. But like,
sure they do.
Country music is a great example. Okay, well maybe it was me, but that was different. I was a lone wolf. I used to have to fight.
Watch the language. Joseph, you gotta watch the language. Come on, man. Watch the language. Come on.
Yeah, my bad. But it's like you look at country music. Like country music has fizzled out so much from the Johnny Cash and the Willie Nelson era that it's like they're trying to bite on the hip hop music, and now we have this weird hip hop country hybrid. And granted, like they've been, Nelly was kind of working with country artists, and it's not super new, but it is on more of a mainstream front now. Like you go ask the average 16-year-old kid living in Wisconsin, and he's gonna say his favorite song is a song with a country artist like Morgan Wallen and Little Dirk.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it is owed. However, it's also I'm gonna kind of take one of your quotables and spin it. It's kind of like the devil knows its own, because it's funny. I was talking about Father earlier on the phone. We were talking about music and everything, and he was telling me to watch this Motown documentary, because it spoke about when the man who owned, I forgot his name, the man who owned Motown, after he sold the record label, he told all
Barry Gordy,
black musicians,
Barry Gordy,
yeah, he just locked the door and they kicked them all to the curb. So I think money doesn't know no limits, and evil doesn't either. So, but that's I'm kind of going off topic now, but I feel like it all links kind of together in our little conversation.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, I would like to see people of color, here in America have their own award ceremonies, because they used to. There was black beauty pageants, there was black movie theaters, black bus lines. There was a whole lot of black companies independent of the dominant society. But at the same time, the quote unquote music industry does owe possibly $3 or $4 billion to black artists since the dawn of the modern era. But good to talk to you, man. Salute.
Yeah, you too, Star.
Thank
Shalom.
You. Okay, shalom. All right. Guys on the screen, www.dollpimp.com. It's one of my sponsors. In case you don't know, if you have a picture of your ex, whether it was your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girl, you can send a picture, ask for George, and they can create a doll, if you will, but with lifelike skin. I've got 2 models right here. Lifelike skin. Get a custom companion. Everything's not about sex. A custom companion. www.dollpimp.com. Okay. Hold on a second. Area code 347-576. Hey there. Thank you for your patience. I got your donation. I don't want to say your name, but good evening. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Star, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
All right, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to call in about the Gene Simmons situation. So I play the guitar and I play the piano.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Kiss.
Okay.
And I find it funny that he talks about not understanding or being ghetto, but Kiss has songs literally that talk about ghetto themes and prostitutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that aspect, he's talking about the black ghetto. He's saying he's not from that particular area. That's what he's saying. Now, is it racist? I don't know. That's up to each individual. But he also took a shot at Eminem. I played a video earlier from the podcast that he was on, where he made the statements. Took a shot at Eminem too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when Kiss came out, they were billed, all 4 of them being from the 4 different boroughs, and they were wearing what looked like streetwalker clothing.
They came out at the same time, similar time as the New York Dolls. So glam rock was a thing back in those days. I liked Kiss. I wasn't a fan. I saw them live 1977, December, Madison Square Garden. That was when they were at the peak. I think it was the Kiss Alive 2 tour. Kiss Alive 2. And listen, I was a kid, man. So all the explosions, boom, 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 just whoa, whoa. And they have become a machine, a money-making machine. I remember it was Kiss and the Planet of the Apes franchises that literally started a whole lot of things with regards to lunch boxes for kids, bedroom sheets, garbage pails, all sorts of stuff. So they literally were the pioneers and architects of all that stuff, along with comic books, cartoons, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I mean, as much as they were innovative, I feel like out of the 4 original members, he was probably the one that creatively contributed the least, but has made the most amount of money. But apart from that, a video that you showed earlier was what made me call in. You were showing Jimi Hendrix, and one of my guitar mentors from Harlem, out in Manhattanville. He's a black brother, and he told me that he saw Jimi Hendrix play in front of what is the McDonald's now on 125th Street.
Okay.
Under the one train, and he said that people were not ready for what he was playing. They started throwing tomatoes and stuff at him. So that's what made him go downtown to the Wawa and start playing in the Village.
Well, listen, nobody was feeling Jimi Hendrix, not even white people. So I don't know if there's any truth to your story. You know, it sounds like hearsay, but nobody was feeling Jimi Hendrix. He had to go overseas, and that's when he was given a chance to show his not just talents, but his innovative guitar techniques. He was only 24 when he died. You know that, right? He was very young.
Yeah, he was pretty young. Very young. I think it's 27.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just want to call in and say that. Appreciate it.
I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Sorry.
Guys, how old was Jimi Hendrix when he died? Let me just double check that. How old? "27, pardon me, 27 years of age, Jimi Hendrix. Ghostface says, speaking of Kiss, rest in peace, Ace. Yeah, Race. Ace Frehley. What was he had a track? Oh God. I think it was called 2000 Man. I'm a 2000 man. And my kids, they just don't understand me at all. I don't know what album that was from, but I had each one of their separate albums when they put out their albums. Ace was a decent guitar player. I liked Peter Criss as a drummer, you know. He's a good drummer. I forgot to ask that guy. Sir, you just called in from area code 347. You say you're a Kiss fan. Do you want to buy a Kiss 8-time platinum plaque? I got one for sale. It's got my name on it. 10 racks. Email me. There's my email address on the screen. All right, give me a second. I get more donations to put on the screen there. Area code 201. Are you there? Good evening. Please watch the language. 201.
Yes, sir. What's up, Star?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Everything is good. Well, I wanted to just chime in to talk about the origin of rock and roll, like the dudes like Screaming Jay Hawkins, Ike Turner,
right?
Right. What Little Richie, those guys. Somewhere when you trace the timeline to the music, the lines blur.
Little Richard? Little Richard, you said?
Well, Little Richard considered himself the king of rock and roll.
Right. No, I thought you said Little Richie. I was just asking. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I might have said that.
It's okay. Go ahead.
So what's the guy's argument? You know, he's just saying like we don't fit into the genre.
Pretty much.
Or what?
Pretty much. He's an older guy. He's pretty much set in his ways. He gives a lot of homage and praise to the architects, the founders, some of the ones you just mentioned. But he says, hey, you know, it's just it's a different. I mean, it's a whole long interview. I played a piece of it. He also takes a shot at Eminem, so he's got an issue with the cadence, the fact that it's spoken word as opposed to people actually creating, and he's standing on it.
I watched a documentary on YouTube some time ago about Screaming Jay Hawkins, and how he didn't get like any residuals, man. He had a really tough time putting in the groundwork for rock and roll and things like that.
Yep. We discussed that.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in and talk about some of those guys that started it at the root of it.
Can I ask you a question? How old are you, sir? How old are you?
43.
Okay.
But I'm a music fan, man. You know,
I say this with all due respect. It's one thing to say, yo, they stole from us. We created everything. But, you know, I always need to ask, do you support jazz, blues, some of the genres of the pioneers, you know? Do you support that type of music? What do you have in your collection?
So, you know, at the present time, I kind of stopped listening to hip hop. And the reason why is because I realized how the music is being used to warp the minds of the people and cause them to kind of steer into a way where you can control how people think.
Okay.
And I look at.
Well, what about jazz? Can you name a jazz artist, you know, that you like? Some type of
Would you consider Billie Holiday a jazz artist?
a jazz singer, sure, jazz singer.
Yeah. I listen to Billie Holiday, no doubt. I listen to what's the other lady? She kind of suffered from she suffered from like a mental illness as she got older. The dark skinned lady. She made the song.
Tell us, sir. Tell us.
Watch a documentary on her too.
Tell us.
What you say her name was?
I said, tell us. I'm giving you some time. You know.
Damn,
You see, again, my thing is, you know, it's one thing to say, yo, they was robbing us, they be stealing, but do you go to see some of these people who, you know, truthfully, as they become more seasoned and iconic, their audiences are filled with white people, very few black people.
Correct.
White people.
Yeah. So I listen to Lil Howlin' Wolf. You ever heard of him before?
Of course, sir. Of course.
Oh yeah. So you know, I go back with that. I listen to the banjo. I kind of deal with music on my own. So but really, for the most part, I go.
You ever heard of Charlie Pride, sir? Charlie Pride. Have you ever heard of Charlie Pride?
Nah, I never heard of him before. You got a song you can refer me to?
When you get time, you got a laptop or something in front of you right now. Kiss an Angel. Kiss an Angel. Good Morning by Charlie Pride. Check that out when you get some time. All right.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you for the call, man. Salute.
You see the area code, man. Salute to Jersey. I know that's where you from, man.
Yes,
Big
sir.
up, Star.
Big up. Salute. Thank you. You guys ever heard of Charlie Pride? Kiss an Angel. Good morning. Oh, that was the shit. Hey, you called back with regards to the Kiss plaque?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Star? Yeah, I just wanted.
well, hold on.
You funny for that one.
Hold on. Stay with me. Now, I have a picture of the plaque. Hold on a second now. The one I have has my name on it, but the one I'm talking about, 8-time platinum plaque. Can you see that right on the screen? Oh, shit. What happened?
Okay.
Shit. There it is. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Let me take this off the screen. Pow, there it is. That's the one I got.
Yeah. Looks nice. But yeah.
10 bands. Holler at me via email. 10 bands. I gotta go.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you guys see that? That's the Kissology plaque. 8 times platinum. Almost diamond. 10 bands. It could be yours. I will sell Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss down the river like old Virginia slaves. Oh, and somebody emailed me, but they did not get back to me. I have a Nicki Minaj diamond plaque. It's got my name on it, but 20 bands. Holler at your boy. Area code 646. Are you there? Good morning.
Yeah.
Please watch the language.
Good morning.
646.
How you doing, Star? Have you ever heard that hip hop was a derogatory term back in the days, way before hip hop was even created? And then the reason they started calling it hip hop music was because they was basically making fun of the people calling them that, which would technically be.
Can you give us your source, sir? Give us your source to what it is you're saying. I'm going to let you speak. What is your source?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was KRS-One who said that in one of those documentaries.
Dismissed, sir. I'm sorry. Dismissed. I listen, KRS-One, I've never been impressed, you know. He used to say hip hop is boring. I like dance hall reggae. No, thank you, sir. But is that your teacher? Is that your teacher?
Nah, I don't even fuck with him.
Sir, watch the language. I got to get you out of here. Come on, man.
Oh, my bad. My bad. But you the one that put me onto that 13 and Good song, and then I posted it on my YouTube.
Yeah, Boogie Down Productions. Yeah.
I'm exposing him with the Epstein and all of that.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you.
No doubt.
Let me get that Kiss plaque off the screen. 10 bands. Give me yours. Mint condition. Most of my plaques I got from the record labels. So I got more rock and roll and pop plaques. How do I get that thing out of here? Hold on. Okay, there you go. Wow. I spoke to Yosef. Thank you for your donation. Hey, Lydia, good to hear from you, darling. Well, who are you? Did you send in a donation? You're asking me questions. I would imagine you're not a member. I don't want to be your friend. My time is valuable. I don't just be emailing people just because you're asking a question. Who are you? Sheesh. Hey there. Did you call earlier?
I did, Star. Detroit Ziggy, how are you?
Detroit Ziggy, how are you, man? What's cracking? I got to see if I
Sorry
can
about that.
I got to try and save your number. Something's going on with your number when it pops up. But go ahead. Where do you want to start, sir?
Well, Star, I salute you. Great job editing the live shows.
Thank you, man.
Afterwards, you do a great job doing that. Hey, Star, I want to mention a few topics regarding the NBC situation in Savannah Guthrie. It's starting to get a little Brian Williams kind of suspicious, right? You know, it's the reason why we don't see him anymore. You know, I think even NBC's trying to do some clout chasing within the whole broadcasting system within itself. So I think there's some blame.
Hang on a second, Detroit Ziggy. I didn't get time to Google Savannah Guthrie. How old is she? You know,
I would say she's in her mid 40s. I would imagine.
No,
maybe late, early 50s.
She's older. She's 50.
Yeah, I would say she's probably
54.
Yeah.
Born in 1971. Okay. I have no proof, but, you know, listen, the browning of America is upon us. You know, white people, no disrespect, I know you're Caucasian. White people are concerned with something called white genetic survival. And she's pushing 60. So, you know, her contract's not going to be renewed. Or maybe she got wind that she was going to be, you know, let go. She gets a pretty big bag, right? Where is she over at now? NBC News.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
You know, she's not a spring chicken. She might have varicose veins in her legs. And she might
be sitting down with Killer Cam and Mace here doing a
easy that I don't know. Hold on a second. But, you know, she may have got together with some of the family members, and hey, here they are now running a play. It's not out of the ordinary, right?
Bag chasing is what they're doing. Yeah, and Star, you know, I don't want to hear from Chuck D. Star, I want to hear from Chuck Berry.
Whoa.
You know, and shame on me for thinking that Marty McFly came up with Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
You know, and what a you want to talk about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Chuck Berry should be the GOAT of all GOATs, you know, and it's a shame. Here we are, Star, on the 12th day of Black History Month, and we're not celebrating the Tuskegee Airmen or Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King. We're celebrating Ja Rule and Tony Yayo having a pillow fight, you know, and that's where our attention has gone, Star. We're not celebrating, and like St. Patty's Day is coming up, we should be celebrating. Star, we still have another 17, 16 days of Black History Month and Foundational Black Americans. What are you doing to celebrate Black History Month? That's my question to you.
Well, hang on a second.
Right? Are we?
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Let's go back. Chuck Berry was convicted of transporting a baby across state lines. Do you know that?
Listen.
Ziggy, Detroit Ziggy.
I don't. I do. No.
Stay with me. Stay with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to put smut on the man's name, but he was convicted of the Mann Act. Troll babies. Wasn't he convicted? I think she may have been 14. Can you Google Detroit Ziggy?
I'm not in front of a computer. I've been patiently waiting on hold.
All right, stay right there. Let me Google. Chuck Berry, guys, the Mann Act. He was transporting a baby across state lines, man. And I don't know if he was pimping her, but just hold on. Hang on. Chuck Berry was convicted under the Mann Act in January 1962 and sentenced to 3 years in prison. He was found guilty of transporting a 14-year-old girl across state lines for immoral purposes. Berry only served 20 months of his sentence before being released in 1963. So let's take it easy here. You know what I mean? I'm acknowledging the man. Gene Simmons acknowledged the man, but let's keep it real, Okay, you were saying?
Let's do that. Star. Okay, let's move over. Listen, Star, are we going to acknowledge Chuck Berry? Are we going to acknowledge King Von at this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well,
we just acknowledged Chuck
Berry. Star, this new, if you play Johnny Be Good, Star, you think that the troll babies will think that was a black man singing that song and playing that guitar?
I'm not going to go back there for. But they will play.
Well, again.
I'm sorry. Okay, you know what I will play? I'm going to take it back. You appreciate the oldies, right? You appreciate the oldies, Detroit?
Absolutely, yes. Go ahead, son. I will stay on hold. Yes, thank you.
Well, no, I'm going to play one as soon as you and I hang up. But you see, the thing is, Gene Simmons acknowledges the founders, the black architects. He gives it up, and all of them did. When Led Zeppelin came over here, they were paying homage. You know the story when the Beatles came over here. John Lennon said, John Lennon said, "Where's Muddy Waters?" You know what I'm saying? So, it's not a question of does Gene Simmons acknowledge where it came from, but he's saying modern rock and roll. It's different now. But go ahead and land your plane, Detroit Ziggy, please.
Well, you mentioned Louis Armstrong, and he came with an instrument too, Star. And these artists don't play instruments, and Chuck Berry played one hell of a guitar, and that was great music, Star, and needs to be recognized. And what's getting played today it shouldn't be recognized. And Star, one question I would have for you: if you did put hip hop genre in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, would you date it pre-21st century?
Would I what? Say it again. Would I date it
pre? No. Would you predate it? Like, would you say, let's go from 1980 to 2000? Or would you take it from 80 to 2000 to modern day right now?
Well,
does any music?
Hold on. I'm trying to answer your question. There's a great documentary put out by Tariq Nasheed with regards to the real roots of quote unquote hip hop, which came out of bebop. So it would be nice to go back just for the purposes of clarity, but rapping goes back even further than the 60s and the 50s. Rapping. So, yeah, I would predate it. We good?
Yeah. And I would put, if I did, I would keep it clean, like a Tribe Called Quest. Things of that nature. And, and I think that you could start somewhere with the foundation somewhere with, a group like that. Yep. So thank you. And great show tonight, Star. Thank you for having me back on.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Enjoy your evening.
Okay.
Bye.
Detroit Ziggy. Microphone Check, the hidden history of hip hop. Great documentary. You guys up to speed? If you're claiming to be foundational Black American, you have to have this. Okay. Can you see that? Microphone check. I paid for this. You know, Terrence, I got your Cash App. Thank you so much. Yeah, hold on, man. Email me about that particular plaque. I'll respond. Terrence, I got your Cash App donation. Area code 819. Please watch the language. Good morning, 819. Hey there.
Yes, Star. Nice to see you online.
Okay, how are you, sir?
No, I'm good, sir. I'm good, thank you. I wanted to talk about the Gene Simmons conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I had the privilege in my life to have a song with a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, DMC from Run DMC. Okay. We have a song called Sharks. It's on Spotify.
So, are you going to address Gene Simmons? You can promote later, but let's get to the top.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The link. The reason why I'm saying that is because, like, I think Gene Simmons has been a hater of hip hop for a long time.
Okay.
Like, he's also. I understand that he's done, I guess, tremendous work when it comes to his group and how he promoted rock and roll. But as you mentioned before, rock and roll was born from Black people, especially foundational Black Americans. Mm-hmm. So for him to to come with these type of comments, it just really reflects his hate for hip hop. And sometimes I could even say, I'm not sure if he hates Black people, but he's had few bad, I guess, comments about Black people in music. So it could be the aspect of it.
Can you give us some of those comments, sir? You're calling from Canada. You sound like you've had an issue with Gene Simmons. Give us some of the people, the Black people that you say he made bad comments about. To be fair.
Well, it's not his first time making bad comments about hip hop. It's not his first time.
I got that, but you said you said Black people. Can you give us the names of some of those Black people that he made bad comments? I'm letting you speak. Who are we talking about in particular?
I don't have specific names in mind right now.
Okay.
But I do.
Well, niggers are dangerous, sir. Can I throw that in there? Niggers are dangerous. Down here in the States, we deal with niggers every day. So we have to be cautious. There's a difference between hardworking, law-abiding Black people and the niggers, the degenerates. And the niggers are actually taking over. Their numbers are rising. But go ahead. To be fair.
But where I live, we deal with white people that are dangerous. Like, I don't know if you heard what happened in BC, where there's a young 18-year-old kid that went into a school and
a transgender shooter. So yes, and I don't care. I'm focused on America. But let's go back.
Yeah, I understand. But from an American standpoint, Black music and rock and roll has been the pioneer of other music. Like, a lot of music came out of rock and roll, right? So for him to hate Black people, for him to dislike Black people into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is literally just eliminating a lineage of music that came out of rock and roll from Black people, from foundational Black Americans.
I still don't necessarily find his comments to be that inciting. He has the right to say what he said. He does pay homage.
Absolutely.
He pays homage to a lot of the pioneers, the legends. I played a video earlier with him at Chuck Berry's funeral. So I'm not giving him a pass. I want you to hear what I'm saying here. But people.
Yeah, I understand.
But people are calling in and saying he's right. Are you a rapper, a producer? What do you do up in Canada?
I'm a producer and I'm a bass player.
Okay.
I'm a drummer at first, but I'm a bass player, and I've had few I've been lucky to to be around musicians that have made it into a high standard. But one thing about Gene Simmons is the fact that he plays music like he's a guitarist. I think there's a contrast where I don't think he really likes the production aspect of hip hop or the sampling aspect of hip hop. He believes that hip hop is taken a lot out of, like, I guess it's taken more from the musician than they're giving back to musicians.
Right. Yeah.
And there might be that contrast, and I understand that angle that he's. I understand that angle. I understand it.
Do you yourself read music? You read music?
You know what? I started reading music, and I stopped, and I just.
So the answer is no. You don't read music. You don't read music.
I read music, but not professionally. Let's put it this way. Does it make any sense? Like, I could read music.
Sir, you either read music theory or you do not. It's not a trick question.
No, well, I could. Yes, I could read music theory when it comes to drumming. Okay. When it comes to bass player, I got the foundation.
Gotcha.
But like, if you're telling me to, to go on a cruise ship and play music and reading music, then I could do it, but it's going to be difficult. I'm not afraid of saying that. But God gave me the talent of a musician. I've been playing music in church since I was 6 years old.
Salute.
And I've grown with the music, and it's helped me tremendously in my life. I'm still a musician right now.
Well, listen, I appreciate your call, a different perspective. I'm not, trying to defend Gene Simmons, but we have to look in its totality. There are people who don't prefer certain parts of the hip hop culture. You do know that Michael Jordan, he don't rock with rap music, right? MJ.
Yeah, and I think it's that Republican mindset also, which it is what it is.
Well, sir, he's always been like that. Back in the days, he Chameleonaire, Troll Baby's Chameleonaire asked Michael Jordan for a picture. He said, "I ain't taking pictures with no niggas." according to Chameleonaire. Yes, no, Troll Babies. And listen, and I know Nori, well, I don't know him like that, but Nori from Capone Noriega, he tells a story about Michael Jordan saying, fuck rap at some Def Jam Christmas party. I was told that Michael Jordan said to his face, fuck you and fuck rap. So go ahead, land your plane, sir. Sir, please stop giggling. Please land your plane. Land your plane, please.
I'm sorry. All that to say, music that has come out of Black people, especially Black Americans, has had a major influence in music in the world. And to take out hip hop from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would also be very boring, to be honest with you.
I appreciate the call, so thank you.
Take it easy.
Area code 646. Good morning. Are you there? 646.
Yeah, hi, Star.
Hey,
this is Paul.
Paul, how are you, man? What's going on?
Great. I called last week. I was the one where you were mentioning the fire department and the police department have a long feud in New York.
Okay. I don't remember, but go ahead. I don't remember. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Well, I wanted to weigh in on this topic. I'm 59. I'm from the tri-state area.
Okay.
I don't want to nerd out too much because I'm kind of like a music fan.
Okay.
But speaking of Gene Simmons, I started to remember, and Black music, I started to remember back around 1977 when Saturday Night Fever album came out.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bee Gees was the white group doing soul, and they were selling off the shelves. Mm-hmm. Right after that, all these rock groups started getting nervous, and they started releasing disco-sounding records, like the Rolling Stones came out with Miss You, and Rod Stewart, If You Think I'm Sexy, and Queen, another one by Seduce. And Kiss was like the first group to go disco.
I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. I can't get enough of you, baby. Right? 1979.
That was it. And you heard the drums get a little louder, like they were trying to catch up to the times, And then it turned to a thing with a lot of white people. Remember in Yankee Stadium, it was Burn Disco Records. Disco sucks.
Well, hold on. Wasn't that in Chicago? I don't think that was Yankee Stadium. I think that was in Chicago, they were burning disco. I mean, I'll Google it, but go ahead.
I think they have one in New York, but it was a disco sucks a trend from rock.
Right.
Yeah. So then when rap started coming through, these gatekeepers with their rock and roll and their Velvet Underground and their whole narrative of what's important in rock music, right? These gatekeepers, these Rolling Stone magazine, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, racist tight-knit boys club, they okayed rap to cross over when they were going to blend it with rock. Right. They got some white rappers making money, and this was going to be it. Run DMC and Aerosmith, every hip-hop album in the mid-'80s, it had that one rap cut. That one rock cut, like Go Cut Creator Go or Dopey, but it didn't happen.
Right. If I can jump in for a second, hold on. Disco Demolition Night was a Major League Baseball promotion on Thursday, July the 12th, 1979, at Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, that's where they did that whole thing with put all the records and cassettes in the field and lit them on fire. Oh, fuck disco! Yeah, come on. Yeah.
I stand corrected. Okay, I know the photo for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So they couldn't combine the hip hop with the rock. It ended up combining with R&B. It killed rock all through the 90s. And these people are just standing here with their race. Like, why would it even be in Ohio? Shouldn't it be in like Mississippi or something like that? And they just have this total weird, messed up relationship with black music artists, with black music. They always get it wrong, whether it's the Grammys or the Rock and Roll Hall of whatever. And this one guy, Jan Werner, he was the head of it. He started Rolling Stone magazine, and he was at the top of these committees. He had to step down because this guy released a book of interviews and said, I don't have any black people or any women in it because they're not articulate.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, he was a racist outright, Jan Werner. Go ahead.
And that's it. And you know what? These little viral moments are the only things that can keep these dying dinosaur institutions alive, like Chris Rock getting slapped or Gene Simmons making a fuss for the rock and roll. These things all need to go.
Who slapped Chris? Oh, Chris Rock. I thought you said. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, now, hold on a second, if I can just for context here. So Gene Simmons did take a shot at Eminem. So with everything in its totality, I played the interview from him. He took a shot at Eminem as well. So his issue is that that they glorify the ghetto, and he's Jewish. He's an old Jewish guy. He got his name from an early rockabilly guy in 1964. His name is not Gene Simmons from Kiss. That's not his real name.
Right. But he's Israeli.
Yeah. But at the same time, he gives a lot of credit to the pioneers of rock and roll. He says, without Chuck Berry, I wouldn't be here. And, a lot of them who came over here, Led Zeppelin and the others, they weren't slinging the N-word. You know what they referred to black people as back in those days?
Colored?
Spade.
Okay.
And that wasn't, it's not like, nigger, but, that they were, adapting to this foundational black American music, Lead Belly, John Lee Hooker, and all these other people. So I give a lot of them a pass. It's not like they just came over here stealing the music. But Gene Simmons, and I'll just say this, I'll let you land your plane. He was never that guy. He was never that guy on bass guitar. He was okay. He kept the groove, but on that album called Creatures of the Night, that track, he didn't even play the bass. So he wasn't like some of the other guys who, John Entwistle from The Who, he didn't play bass all the time in the studio. He was a poser to some degree. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. And nowadays they have the isolated tracks. You can really hear how good some of these rock musicians anyway. For sure. Because also groups like the Beatles and the Stones, if I understand correctly, they used to open up for groups like Bo Diddley and Little Richard because the United States had thrown those artists in the garbage, and they were touring in Europe, and all the kids became super fans. Like, it's the same thing probably with a hip hop group like Nice and Smooth. They probably sell out over in like Amsterdam and Poland.
Yeah.
But Gene Simmons needs to get himself lost. He's been a jerk. He's not known for music, and and the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is confirmed racist. So
I appreciate the call, man. Salute.
Hey, I'm great. Thanks,
okay.
Yeah.
you.